The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Woodburn Fire Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38750. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting first on the front bumper face is where you'll find your unit identifier Air 21. Just inside that location in the cutout area, you'll find tow hooks on the passenger and driver side frame rail. Moving over to the driver side face of the front bumper, this is your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving up onto the cab itself, you'll find a marker turn indicator light, high beam and low beam headlight structure. Inside the grille area, emergency warning lights forward facing. On the outer edge, you'll find also side facing emergency warning lights, also dual air horns. Directly above the Freightliner logo is where you'll find the grab handle for tilting your cab. Let's move to the outer edge of the A-pillar where you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow, you'll find 5 identification clearance lights. Also located within this area is a forward-facing floodlight. And then on the very top section, your emergency warning light. Inside the emergency warning light is where you'll find your opticom. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the vehicle on the driver's side, and then we'll focus in on the cab section next. Starting first down at the front wheel with an Alcoa wheel and Michelin tire. Moving up to the cab area, headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights and marker turn indicator light. As previously mentioned, the side-facing emergency warning light forward, and then directly over the front wheel is where you'll find your marker turn indicator light, also air horn, and then just above that you'll find your air inlet. To the rear of this location is where you'll find the release mechanism for your hood. There's one on the passenger and driver side for tilting the front hood. Also, your mirror housing a flat mirror and convex mirror in the lower section. Easily accessible with a gloved hand. These are your door lock and latch combination. Right next to that is the grab handle for maintaining 3 points of contact when entering or exiting the vehicle. As we move to the very top section, you'll find a side-facing scene light. And then let's go ahead and move back down to the bottom step area where you'll find your ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. And then right next to that, the blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. Also within this area, you'll find an air inlet, outlet, and then also below that, you'll find your shoreline power for the chassis shoreline. Let's take a look at the body section next. Identify a few items here where you'll find just in front of the rear axle, folding wheel chock storage location. Also in front of the rear axle, you'll find a marker turn indicator light. When the vehicle's generator is operational, the outlet here located in front of the rear axle will operate. And then to the rear of the axle, emergency warning light, lower zone warning. As we move up to the top, you have 2 side-facing scene lights. And then to the very rear of the apparatus, you'll find an emergency warning light side-facing. Let's move around to the rear. We'll identify a few items within this area. First, starting at the very bottom section with a pull-out step. Moving up to the indicators here, we have a brake, turn, reverse, and emergency warning light cluster on both passenger and driver side. At the rear, you'll find scene lights, one on each side, and then also emergency warning lights. Located directly in the center is the location for your backup camera. And then as we move all the way to the top, you'll find your awning, which is controlled remotely. Let's move around now to the passenger side, full view. Pretty much the same configuration that you have on the driver as you do on the passenger side, except for the exhaust. Also some additional lighting in the upper portion. This is for when your awning is out or deployed. To the front cab section, you'll find additional lift and turn latch will gain you access into the storage location, and also your diesel exhaust. Extremely hot temperatures do exist within that area. Back to the front axle where you'll find an Alcoa wheel and Michelin tire. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab into the driver's space. We'll start first affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. Also, as we move forward to that location, your grab handle and door release. Just to the forward location of this, manual window controls. Let's go ahead and move now into the cab section where you'll find down at the base of the seat area is where the master battery switch is located. Also to the right of that location is an additional grab handle for gaining access in and out. Let's take a close-up here of the battery switch. This is once again the master battery switch, quarter turn for on and off. General view overhead. And you'll focus in now on the yellow placard located near the seat area. This is just to the right of the driver's seat. This has information regarding the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation. It also has all of the components for each fluid capacity and fluid type, also including the VIN number. As we look to the dash cluster, you'll find on the left-hand side the oil, water, and transmission gauges. To the right, you'll find fuel, DEF, front air, and rear air gauges. Located in the center is the tachometer and speedometer. Tally information will display just above the tachometer and speedometer in the digital readout. To the right of the steering column is where you'll find your air filter minder. Below that, you'll find your Allison transmission pad, push button, digital readout. As we move just to the right, operating instructions for operating the generator. Close up here of the filter minder, and then also Allison transmission pad. As we move just to the right, just a close-up of the instructions here for your generator operating instructions. And then just below that in the next panel down, you'll find interaxle, engine brake, below that, regen, mirror heat, a placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet, 1.5 inches, length, 29 feet, 4.5 inches, gross vehicle weight rating, 37,600 pounds, and also the 5-digit unit identifier. In the center, your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. This is the rear spring brake. Moving to the right, you'll find the generator PTO engaged indicator, high idle indicator, load manager, low voltage, and door open indicator. All the way to the very far right, the round object is a speaker. The outer edge of that bezel does rotate to increase or decrease sound. Down on the bottom, we have scene lights for perimeter lights, front scene, driver alley, passenger alley, driver scene, passenger scene, and rear scene. Scene lights are located on the rear body section. Let's move down to the next panel where you'll find climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Moving further down to the center console, you do have additional 12-volt access and also an audible alarm. In the center, the location for your radio installation. And to the rear, Firecom headset system. You'll also find these red and white candy cane labels throughout the vehicle. These are indicating spare wiring is behind this panel, indicating the option and type of wiring. Please do not remove these until your maintenance teams had an opportunity to review. Overhead, you'll find additional storage. As we look to the center console overhead portion, you'll find your emergency master switches, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, and Opticom switch. As we move down into the lower portion, you'll find your seatbelt information, red indicating someone is in the seat, currently showing, does not have their seatbelt, green, seatbelt has been applied. To the right, you'll find your PA system and electronic siren. Just below that, you'll find the tether for your air horn. And further to the right, you'll find a door open indicator and also warning, do not move your apparatus when this light is on, indicating may have a door open or ajar. In the center is your Firecom wireless headset module and also your backup camera display screen. Quick look to the rear of the apparatus where you'll find 3 forward-facing seats. They do house SCBA brackets. As we move to the exterior, a few things regarding warning injury and fall injury. Also, you'll find the silver cap, which is your ultra low sulfur diesel fuel location. And then to the right is the blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. As we move just to the right and downward, you'll find an air inlet outlet. There is also a control switch above that, and your shoreline inlet. This is a 20 amp for your chassis. Just down in the lower section, you'll find your battery storage location. Lift and turn latch will gain you access into this space. As we move into the rear cab, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information as previously discussed, door lock and latch, and window control. Overhead in this space, you'll find push on and off white lights. And as we move to the rear wall, you'll find the location for your seat belt for the center, and then also additional holders for headsets. Let's move to the body section now. In the very forward section, you'll find 2 upper shelves that do protrude outward. The release mechanism is on both left and right side of the shelf. In the very lower section, you'll find a shoreline outlet. This outlet will only be operational when plugged into shoreline power. In the overwheel compartment is the location for your air system. There are 4 Cascade bottles, in addition with an emergency stop in the upper section. As we move down, there is an hour reader for your compressor. Identifying some of the items here within the bottles, you'll find the label 1, 2, 3, and 4, indicating the order of Cascade. Moving down to the lower right-hand side of your Cascade system, this is where you'll find the refill port and also air valve. Moving now just to the right of this location, this is the main plug for your generator to air compressor. Also, there is a panel located on the vertical wall. We do have some caution information. Also information here regarding the type of panel and breakers. Also indicating the G1, which stands for generator for air compressor and also receptacle outlets. There is also an instruction plaque for your generator operation. Moving to the left side of the panel is where you'll find an operational light indicating that it's operational and running. To the right of that location, you'll find an audible alarm speaker. The outer edge of the bezel does rotate. Moving just to the right, you'll find your start-stop switch. And then also to the right, you'll find fuses and then operational hours. Let's move up on the same panel where you'll find at the very top section a PTO engaged, and then just below that a warning light indicating check transmission. Let's move through the rest of the compartments now. To the rear, you'll find SCBA bottle storage location. Full view of all compartments open now. And then let's focus in on just this section directly over the wheel, where you'll find a 120 VAC 20 amp outlet. Rear axle, Alcoa wheel, Michelin tire. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus next. We'll identify a few things in this area. First, starting with a warning, fall hazard. When climbing on or off the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Also, there is a rear scene light cupped switch for activation of the rear scene lights. This is the air fill station. For more information, please see the owner's manual for its operation. As we move to the right side of the fill station, on the vertical wall is where you'll find your rear awning remote and control in the upper section. There is a pull-out step located on the right. The push buttons are located on both right and left side and must be activated together. Also, fall injury, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Just a display with the awning in the outward position or deployment deployed position. Let's go ahead and move around now to the passenger side rear compartment, where you'll find a tool board that does pull out and also additional storage, LED lighting. Release mechanism for the tool board is located on the right side in the lower portion. Also, release mechanism for the air filter canisters. This panel will pull outward for gaining access to those canisters. There's also an additional caution label here. This is part of your air compressor. Just as a reminder, both compartment doors need to be open when operational use is in process. Moving down to the rear axle, Michelin tires, Alcoa wheel. Forward of this location is where you'll find your 120 VAC 20 amp outlet. And from that location is your marker turn indicator light. As we move into the compartment that is the through compartment, in the lower section you'll have two pull-out trays. Release mechanisms are both located on the right and left side. In the upper corner you'll find your Shoreline power will operate the air compressor and also battery charger located in the upper section in this compartment. Also within this compartment you'll find a ventilation system for air movement. As we move to the lower section, when plugged into Shoreline power, these outlets will be active. As we move now into the cab section next, we'll start at the rear portion of the crew cab area, general view. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information. Looking overhead is where you'll find the white light for the inside cab area and then also your intercom system headsets. General view with inside the cab area. As we move to the floor area, just as a reminder, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures within this area. Please be cautious where your hands are. Also, as we move to the forward section, we do have a slip injury hazard regarding climbing on or off the vehicle. On the rear portion of the body is where you'll find your side scene light activation, which is near the exhaust area. Just underneath this, you'll find additional storage. This is on the passenger side rear crew cab area. As we move into the officer space, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, manual window controls, and also door lock and latch grab handle combination. Also regarding slip injury, fall injury hazard, warning label. As we move inside the cab area, full view of the entire side of the vehicle with all compartments open now. And then just back into that one compartment where you'll find the passenger side awning remote and control. And it's now in the deployed mode. Moving from this point forward, there'll be no additional audio. I have additional chassis photos here of the engine and then also undercarriage area. Congratulations, Woodburn Fire Department, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38750. If you have any questions regarding your vehicle, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.